Now, your e-bike tyres are the first point of contact, and they can have a pretty hard time, especially when you're riding technical terrain. Splits in the sidewalls, big holes in the tyres, and punctures can bring a ride to a halt at any time. So today we're taking a look at how you can fix any flat on the side of the trail. So first off, I just want to mention that no matter what tyre you got, no matter what brand it is, whether you've got downhill casing, lightweight casing, puncture protection, you are going to get a puncture at some point if you're riding. So what actual tools do we need to fix any flat? Well, let's take a look in my backpack. Decent set of tyre levers, tyre plugs, emergency tyre boot, traditional puncture repair kit, CO2 canister, mini pump, inner tube, let's talk about the different types of punctures you're going to experience out on the trail. First up, it's going to be those foreign objects and little tiny tears you're going to get in the tyre. Now these should naturally seal with the tubeless sealant you've got in your tyre, assuming you're on top of keeping that maintenance up. A lot of people think that tubeless tyre sealant is a fit and forget system that's going to work at all times. Now you actually need to be topping that sealant up every 2 to 3 months. Obviously it depends on how much you ride, where you store your bike, the temperature you ride, because that can all affect how the sealant's going to last. So just make sure you've actually got some sealant in your tyre before you start your ride, because if you get a puncture, it's simply not going to seal. So here's a little tip for you. If that tubeless sealant isn't stopping the puncture and it's simply spurting out all over the place, what I like to do, try and locate the hole and put it down at the lowest point and sit it in the puddle of sealant. Just leave it there for a few minutes, rock it around just to get that sealant sloshing around. So hopefully cover that hole, plug it, then just check it now and again to make sure it's actually sealing the hole and doing its job. When it comes to re-inflating your tyres, there's a couple of options. You've got this additional mini pump, which is a fail-safe option, nice and lightweight. Stick that in your riding pack. You just want to spend a little bit more money when it comes to a mini pump. Just make sure you're getting one with a decent volume in there. The cheap supermarket pumps, they might be cheap, but they can take days to inflate a tyre. Next up is going to be CO2 canisters. These are really lightweight and a really good way of keeping a lot of space saved in your riding pack. One hit wonder, inflate your tyre literally in seconds and can give a good snap back to a tubeless setup to make sure your beads sat back on there. Tubeless technology has moved on massively over the last few years, but sometimes you're going to get a hole in a tyre that tubeless sealant won't seal alone. This is when you need to whip out your tubeless tyre plugs. So let's take a look at these tubeless tyre plugs. They consist of a prong and a reamer that you push these tyre inserts into the tyre. Therefore, you make the hole in the tyre a lot smaller and it lets the tyre sealant actually do its job by plugging the hole. It's really important you keep these things dry and dust-free, because if they get wet and dusty, they're not going to do the job. So here I've got a hole in my tyre that isn't actually sealing with the tyre sealant alone. This is when it's time to use a tyre plug. Reduce the size of that hole and make the tubeless tyre sealant do its job. So firstly, you need to locate the hole in the tyre itself. Next up, get your prong out. Now this should have a reamer on it. Well, now what this basically does is makes the hole a lot bigger and is ready to accept that tyre plug. So find the hole, push your reamer in. Really is going to let a lot of pressure out, so just be aware that you're going to get a loss of pressure. Push it in. Get it down onto the knurled area, because this is actually where it's going to file and remove some of that tyre excess. Wind it around a few times, in and out. Now the hole becomes a lot bigger and is ready to accept that tyre plug. Okay, next step is to get the prong out, get your tyre insert in there, make sure it's located right in the middle so it's nice and central. When you pierce that tyre, you basically want this to fold up and you're gonna have 2 little tails sticking out of the tyre. So once you manage to get the tyre plug in, it's time to remove the plug. Just make sure that the tails are nice and even. All you do is just give a quick pull up on the tool to remove it, and you just trim these excess tails down and apply a little bit of vulcanizing rubber solution, because they can creep out over time. Now all you need to do is just leave the tyre for a few minutes, let that rubber solution do its job, make sure it's nice and dry, re-inflate the tyre, then hit the trails. Now this is by no means a permanent solution to your flat tyre. It's going to need attention after a few months. You just need to get in there, either replace the tyre or do a repair job from the inside. These tyre plugs are great at getting you home, but no means a permanent fix. Now, a game ender can definitely be a tyre slash, whether it's in the sidewall of the tyre or the tyre tread itself. Even all the tyre plugs in the world aren't going to save your day. It's time to get old school. So the kit you're going to need to get yourself back on the trail and riding after a tyre slash is going old school. You're going to need an inner tube. Now, I tend to favour 29-inch version. It just means it's quite universal from 650B to 29ers, and also the valve is a pressed valve, meaning you can fit it in a Schrader rim as well. So just go 29-inch pressed valve. Tyre boot. Now you can get traditional tyre boots as well. I tend to favour the proper tool for the job being the Park one, but I've seen lots of bodges from duct tape to dollar bills. It's your choice, but you won't beat a proper tyre boot. Now, first up, you need to locate the slash in the tyre. It should be fairly obvious. It's gonna be a lot of air loss and obviously a lot of sealant around the area as well. So I can see this one's on the sidewall. So first up, I need to remove the tyre from the rim itself. So I found the slashed area on my tyre, and it's quite a big slash. So what I'm going to do now is just clear all the sealant away. Just give it a good wipe around with a rag that I've got as well, just to make sure that the actual tyre boot is going to stick to the inside of the tyre. So these tyre boots are just nice and sticky, a nice thick material. You just remove the back in, locate the slash, obviously it's nice and dry, ready to go. Insert the tyre boot on it, just make sure it's located good. So the tyre boot's firmly in place, it's sealed that slash really well. So all I need to do now is stick my inner tube in. So I need to remove my original tubeless valve just by undoing the lock ring on the bottom, push that out of the rim. Now obviously you're gonna have a little bit of tyre sealant left in the bottom of the tyre. What I tend to do is just leave that in there, insert the inner tube and tidy it up when I get home. So literally gonna remove the valve, give it a quick push through and a wiggle. Sometimes these can be quite stubborn. You can give them a little tap if they are stuck, which will remove that tyre valve. And all we do is just simply replace the inner tube. So you go, the tyre's back on the rim, the tube's inside. It's just worth just taking a little look through the sidewall just to make sure that boot is nicely in place. And don't forget, obviously when you inflate the tyre, that's gonna be nicely locked in there by the inner tube. Now all we've got to do is just pump the tyre back up and get on our way. So there you go, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video on fixing any flat on the side of the trail. Hopefully it's going to save you from not pushing your bike home and getting those flats fixed. But if you think we've left anything out, drop us them in the comments box below, all your recommendations. But if you want to stick around, check out 5 signs your tyres need changing over here. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to EMBN by clicking the globe in the middle of the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.